All right, so now prepare to be even more outraged because we're about to talk about this bitch. Let's talk about Megyn Kelly, the other nutmeg. So, who I heard that she went in, or speaking of which, Megyn Kelly went in on Nutmeg McCain. So, two nutmegs going at it. Um, Over her saying that she thought the Bad Bunny performance was good. So, you already went on your little rant, which we're gonna play for y'all because I need y'all to hear from her. I can read it, but it's not the same as hearing it from this psycho clear person. Um, Trying to find the words from this Claren, and that's with three Ks. Um, yeah. So let's get into what was said. So right-wing political commentator Megyn Kelly has been mocked online for her impassioned take on Bad Bunny's hit Apple Music Super Bowl halftime show. Now, she sat and spoke with Piers Morgan, who I don't particularly care for him either. I think he's another idiot. Um, she ranted because there was one panel that pissed me off that he had. One, I watched him with Kyle Kalinske, where Kyle ate all of them up on that panel. But I saw the stunts and shows that Piers was trying to pull. And then it was another one that Jason Lee did that I was like, oh, Jason was eating that girl up. And then Piers was starting his shit again. Like he always tries to steer it in a way where the right wing psychopaths get to really get propped up. And the people that really come in with the shit and the facts, he always tries to like throw them off a little bit and try to make them look like a fool. But if you stand your ground and you smart enough, you can ride the wave and get through all the muck. So yeah, she went on Piers Morgan on February 9th, which is 2 days ago apparently, and basically went on a whole Claren, and that's with three Ks, rant about the Bad Bunny show. Now, I mean, performance, or as I like to call it, Benito Bowl. So yeah, we have that clip. I want y'all to play it. I want to play y'all the clip. And hold on. We will come back. Before that, hold on a second. I gotta check. Huh? Gone where? I was like, don't come in here and spread no lies. He's going where? But we'll come back and talk after y'all wait, hold on. Is it in there? Okay, it is. We'll come back and talk right after y'all watch this clip. Please hold.
I'm sorry, Piers, but to get up there and perform the whole show in Spanish is a middle finger to the rest of America. Who gives a damn that we have 40 million Spanish speakers in the United States? We have 310 million who don't speak a lick of Spanish. This is supposed to be a unifying event for the country, not for the Latinos, not for one small group, but for the country. We don't need a black national anthem. We don't need a Spanish-speaking, non-English performer, and we don't need an ICE or America hater featured as our primetime entertainment.
Okay, what is the national language, officially the national language of the United States of America?
I mean, English. And there's been a push for many years to make it an official,
you don't have one.
Documented thing.
You don't have one.
If you would have let me finish my comment, I would have pointed that out, but people have been pushing to make it official.
Okay, right, so you're trying to make official.
This attitude that you have right here is why you in Great Britain have lost your culture. You ceded your culture to a bunch of radical Muslims who came in and took over, and now it's gone. We're not allowing that here, whether it's Hispanic, whether it's Muslim. It's not happening in the United States of America. That's why President Trump was elected. And whether it's Bad Bunny, who is American but refuses to speak English in his performances, or anybody else, we have to keep the Super Bowl, which is a quintessential American event. Football, that kind of football, is ours. They call it American football. And the halftime show and everything around it needs to stay quintessentially American. Not Spanish, not Muslim, not anything other than good old-fashioned American apple pie. There should be a meatloaf, maybe some fried chicken, and an English-speaking performer. That's what the Super Bowl should be.
This bitch is cooked, and she's an idiot. Because I'm sitting there like, is she serious? You just can't help but laugh at how, you know what? I just laugh when y'all be doing that. For now, I'm not arguing with angry saltines. I'm gonna just start laughing in y'all face, and I'm gonna just repeat everything y'all say, and I'm gonna just change my voice to really get under your skin because y'all don't realize how stupid y'all sound. And the fact of the matter was, with all of that she said, and quiet as kept, I don't even think she believes the shit that she says. Did catch some of the stuff that she said, and I felt like she don't mean it. She doesn't even believe the shit that she's saying. Because when you go and say, this was supposed to be a unifying event for the country, it was. It's not going to be for you because you already had your mind made up before he even got up on that stage and performed. So you're not a part of the people that, you're not a part of the conversation regarding the people who he was unifying. Because like I said earlier, when we were talking about Benito and the whole thing about the ratings and everything, he was bringing people together. And even those people who weren't familiar with his music or all the cultural references that were mentioned in the performance, people actually took the time to really learn and do the research. And I saw so many videos that were popping up all over social media. I don't have TikTok no more, but I saw like people would post their TikTok videos on Instagram, and the Instagram videos that I would see, people were breaking down a lot of the cultural references. I've been breaking down the cultural references on this show. So just because your ass missed it because you like basking in so much of all this hate and rage bait because it keeps your algorithm hustler, and you need these moments of clout so that way you keep the whatever it is that you going, because this is a big money maker. Because I forgot to mention this. Even though a lot of people didn't watch that To Pussy event over there that Kid Rock lip sync for his life for, he benefited financially from it. So there is money to be made in grifting and selling hate. And that's what she's doing. And then sitting up there talking about, we don't need and then had the nerve to throw black people up in it. Talking about, we don't need a black national anthem. Yes, the fuck we do. And we also do it at the Garden. So I love when we bring out Live Every Voice and Sing. And they was mad at, who was it that performed? Was it Ari Lennox? I can't remember who it was that sang because I missed it. All I know was that Green Day performed and Bad Bunny performed. And I think Brandy Carlisle performed. But we need the black national anthem. Why not? People need to know that we have a black national anthem, but the reality is they want to erase all of our history. They want to erase Latino history. And the fact that what black people need to realize, Puerto Ricans have a lot in common with black slaves, and especially because there's been a lot of black slaves who were dropped off in Puerto Rico. So look into the history. We have a lot more in common than not. And so the black national anthem, they want to erase the black history. They want to erase Latino history. When we get to the story later on in the show, they want to erase homosexual history because they done took down the pride flag over at Stonewall, which you know is an iconic spot in New York based off its queer history. So we got that story coming up later on. And then talking about that he needed to speak English and all this other stuff. English is not his first language. Like literally, he's been learning English in the past couple of years. And so we don't fault him for that because he reminds reminds me because I grew up, I'm like growing up in New York, I'm used to being in a melting pot of different cultures and this, that, and the other. So to me, it's not an issue. But um, so then she was just pissing me off with a lot of this. I was just trying to find this other picture. That's why I was stalling. Hold on. Because I was like, let me put that one up. So yeah, so I was just trying to break all this down. And then the whole thing about seeding your culture, I'm like, what? But football is not even an American sport. It's from the UK, which he actually went on to remind her in the rest of that clip, which I didn't have. And here's the thing. This is where she said the quiet part out loud. When she says that's why President Trump was elected, is because that's the quiet part. We're becoming the minority. Latinos or the Hispanic community is surpassing us in the amount of people that are living in this country. Like I told y'all earlier, they mentioned by 2030, white people are going to start becoming a minority because a lot of them aren't having children. It just came out, and Eyewitness News, I think, did this segment the other. I think Ebro Lauren Rosenberg played this clip, I think, on their show yesterday, which was stated Eyewitness News. They had this clip where they were talking about that, yeah, for the first time, white people have been surpassed where you put black people, well, they say African Americans. I'm like, I was not born in Africa, so I don't like the whole African American thing. Charlize Theron is an African American, somebody who was born and raised in Africa and came over to America. That makes you an African American. But everybody wants to do the PC shit. We black. So when you talk about black people, Latinos, and Asians combined, they have surpassed white people in regards of populating the country because they're having children. White people aren't having kids. Probably because kids is expensive. You know, the other communities don't care. They just gonna be out here fucking. We'll figure out how to take care of them babies later on. But right now, we just gonna have them. That's basically the motto of urban folk or people of color. So when she went and said that's why President Trump was elected, she said the quiet part out loud. That was one of the things I realized too when it came to those representatives that's going out there trying to file this lawsuit against Bad Bunny. They were saying all the things, they were using coded language, but they couldn't come out and just say what it really was, which is all of it is rooted in racism. A lot of why they're putting all these things forth is rooted in racism. Megyn's like, I don't give a fuck. I'm gonna just say it. And I'm glad you said it because you saying the things that you finally proved my point by saying what you said and thinking that people was going to be so caught up in the outrage of what you said about Bad Bunny that we was going to pay attention to the little things you threw up in there once I picked it apart. But I guess because I watched this video so damn much, I was well aware of it. But here's the thing. I want to give a shout out to Andy Signor, who does Popcorn Planet, because he posted something under that video as a reminder of, since you want to sit up here and talk about what's American, first of all, everything in this fucking country was colonized from somewhere, including the United States. Football evolved from rugby and comes from England. Apple pie is from England. Fried chicken is from Scotland and West Africa. English is from England. Christianity is from the Middle East. And the whole rant basically about Bad Bunny being too divisive as a turning point, Kid Rock and Trump are unifiers. Like, get the fuck out of here. This bitch is a moron. And that's what you have to do. Unfortunately, the way you get at them, you got to combat them with more education. And then don't try to come with the clapbacks, but you got to be slick with the mouth too. So when you get the likes of this Claren, and that's with 3 Ks, when you get people like her that want to say the things that they say, you got to come with the education, but you also got to come with the roast and gags because they always be thinking they gonna get over. It's like, I don't know, bitch. You can't get over on me because this mouth is a little too slick. So, and she ain't ready for this jelly. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story of what this airbrain Megyn Kelly had to say? Child, the funny thing I said the other day when I read this article, I said, where's Roger Ailes when you need him? And if you know that story, you know what I mean. So whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below.